Welcome again to my Tens and Tens of Friends. It's me, Teacher TJ, and today I will be reading a Reddit post. It's in a preschooler subreddit by fit underscore commission underscore 5850, and it is titled, "What are some low effort activities that keep your preschooler busy?" As a mom and a preschool teacher, a daycare provider, I understand that parents need breaks. And the best way that you may get a break is to make sure that your child is preoccupied. So, this Reddit will give you some ideas of things that your child can do without you or even with you, but mainly things that if you are doing them with your child, they don't take a lot of preparation or a lot of work. So this post reads, "I feel like I'm constantly running out of ideas." I'll stop right there and say repetitive things over and over. You can take one toy and a child can find a million different ways to play with it. So you don't really have to feel like you're running out of ideas. Reading a book, you can read the same book over and over again and it's okay. They can play with the same toys over and over again and it's okay. Because, like I said, you can play with one toy multiple different ways. Also, if you think about it for yourself, sometimes I have read a book more than once, and I have definitely did things that were entertaining for me more than once. So I kind of like have my same things that I like to do over and over again. So kids don't really become bored like we think they would, although it is in your classroom. If you do notice that children are starting to misbehave more or they seem bored with the toys that you have, you could just switch the toys out. I don't know if somebody texted me or not. I can't say that. But anyway, so this post reads, "I feel like I'm constantly running out of ideas, and a lot of the stuff I see online either needs too much prep or my kid loses interest almost immediately. I'm hoping to find things that are quick to set up, like under 5 minutes, don't require a ton of materials, can keep them engaged independently or at least mostly, and bonus points if it's something that doesn't make a huge mess or destroy the house. What's worked for you guys? Even super simple stuff will help." And some replies to that post. As it being summer, I'm pretty sure parents can definitely use these ideas. Riz Deezer replies, "Puzzles. Started with small ones, 24 pieces. She did them over and over. Then we moved to the 60 and then 100. She will sit and do them at my feet while I work on my computer." And if you encourage them to be like, okay, mommy's or dad's gonna do their work here on my computer, and here go your work. And kids love having work, but you can give it to your baby, and they'll be happy to do it. Marathoner, the the slowest marathoner, says, "How do you keep the pieces from being lost?" You teach them to keep up with their things. Put away work when finished. We say it every time. We put away our work when finished. And you might have to even go as far as allowing them to lose a couple of pieces to their puzzle. So, and then once they go to put that puzzle together and they realize that it's missing pieces, they'll understand keeping up with their things a lot better. So I would say make a special place, whether it's a drawer. And a lot of times puzzles nowadays come in little wooden container sets where they could put the puzzles inside and close it up. If you get one of those and you have puzzles that don't have a place to put them away at, you can write down the numbers or letters, like this is puzzle A, and you can put A on the back of all those puzzle pieces so that they'll know, okay, well, this is for this puzzle and these pieces are for that puzzle. So you just teach them how to put their things away when finished, and that's how you keep up with them. Make a special place for them. Does she sit and do the entire puzzle at once? You'd be amazed. I have 3-year-olds who, the girls, I never had to like really show them how to put the puzzle together or work with them putting the puzzles together. The boys, it built a lot of patience. First, I had to work with them doing the puzzles. Then I partnered them in groups doing the puzzles, and now they can do the puzzles on their own. And they started with the 24 pieces. Some of them are 32, And maybe in the summer we'll move up to like 60 pieces because the girls really have it down pat. With the boys, they'll say they seem like they become less interested quicker. But my thing is, if you took the puzzle apart, you're going to put the puzzle back together. So as long as I encourage them to continue to put it together and let them know that when they're done putting it together, then they may go play something else. They'll sit and work and put the puzzle together without my help because now I know that they can do it. It's just a matter of maybe they don't feel like it. Not all the time do I have them if they say they don't want to work on it, but sometimes I do have them continue to work on the puzzle. And interestingly enough, they finish it. They put it together. No problem. No help. If she doesn't finish and you're moving on to something else, is she upset about putting it back in the box, or how do you save it? You cannot take their tantrums too seriously. You can acknowledge their feelings, you can talk them through it. But if you're upset with me about putting your puzzle together, like I said, it depends on how upset that child may become. I might allow you to not put your pieces together, and I might hide a piece so that the next time you go to put it together, you're like, "Oh, my puzzle piece." Because who wants something about that last piece missing? Y'all know the feeling. And kids feel that too. So if you let them experience that, they probably won't want to experience, they probably would not want to experience that again. You just can't. Kids be kidding. Remember that. Keep that in your mind at all times. So them becoming upset about putting the puzzle or having to finish the puzzle or losing the piece to a puzzle, it's not that deep. Relax, breathe, observe the situation, talk them through it, help them through it. It's okay. How do you keep it organized? And I answered that. I totally stopped buying puzzle pieces because they just get lost and I'm finding pieces all over the house constantly. Like you may have your workspace, create a workspace for them. Children have to sit at the table and do puzzles because I don't want the puzzle pieces to get lost. Downstairs is kind of big, so a puzzle piece can get lost fairly easy. So we work on puzzles at the table. If you want to go play something else, you may go play something else. Always give them options. If you want to go play something else, that's fine. You may go play something else, but the puzzle pieces have to stay at the table. And you just kind of, sorry, those are the rules. Or you can even make the rules with them about how we're going to care for these puzzles. That way, if a problem does arise and they feel like they want to run around with a puzzle, because really, how you going to work on a puzzle walking around or running around? You can't. So if they feel like they want to do that, you can remind them of the puzzle rules, and then if they helped you make the rules, they're probably more prone to go with the rules. But if you make the rules on your own, just remind them those are the puzzle rules. Sorry. And they have so many characters now that it's a puzzle for everything. So whatever your child interest is, try to like find that puzzle. That way they would like to take care of that one more too. Like for instance, if they really love Bluey, get a Bluey puzzle. That way they will, be more apt to take better care of it. Riz Deezer. She usually finishes them in one go. Starting with smaller pieces helps. She's worked up to larger ones. If she doesn't finish, she is expected to clean them up before moving to something else. I actually keep a little bin in my home office for her. She pulls out a puzzle one at a time and puts it back when done. I've made it also something special. My office is usually off limits, so it's the only time she gets to be in there. For reference, I have a time flexible job, but 2 times a week, I have to log in for about an hour in the middle of the day to finish some tasks. I prefer not to use screens if possible, so puzzles have been our substitute. And the slowest marathoner says, thank you. Any puzzle in particular you recommend or style? I like wooden puzzles because the cardboard or softer puzzles tend to get broken up. We have the wood kind, and then I don't know what comes after that developmentally. If I start with something like this, I can't click that link. Commercial Sorry 9030 says, my daughter loves to cut paper. That's a good one. Kids do love to cut paper, but I would give them, again, rules. We do not cut, and I don't even like to say don't cut hair because I don't want to give you any ideas. Might not even be on your mind. So what I would say is we don't cut anything except for paper or a string. And if you want to cut something else, you need to ask first. If you find that they really love to cut, then you let them know. If I see you cutting something else, then the scissors are mine and we put them away. And you will not be allowed to cut. The only thing that you cut is paper. Or if you ask me for something else, then you may cut something else if I say yes. But overall, we were only cutting paper or whatever it is that you're like straws or whatever. But you get an understanding that we don't cut anything without mom's or dad's permission. I have activity books for scissor skills, but she always chooses to sit and cut colored paper in a million pieces with a face of intense concentration. It made me laugh. I could just see it working, cutting real hard. Jigsaw puzzles, car wash, a bin with soapy water, sponge, spray bottle, or Perry bottle for rinsing. Cars line up to get washed. Those are the things that she does on her own. And yes, beans are good. She means beans like with a bunch of beads in it, or beans with beans in it, or rice in it, or different things like that. I did color rice once, and you give them some spoons and some bowls, and they can scoop and stuff, and they like to do stuff like that. Soapy water, that sounds like a mess. Bottles, I do like spray bottles. You can put it like in a baking tin, size tin, so that they can spray stuff in there without making a big mess. Tusky underscore girl says, my daughter loves to cut paper to a million pieces too, and then glue them on a piece of paper before cutting them again. Then her favorite thing to do is to use a broomstick to clean up her mess after she has fun sweeping them around. Yep, and you just let them, yeah, and there you go. You learn so much in sweeping in those few activities. 11 years too many says, my mom gave us a bucket of water and a paintbrush in the summer and had us paint the sidewalk. By the time we were done, the beginning had dried and we could start over. And that's cool. And I would even add having them start with chalk. So if you have them start with chalk and then let them draw and then let them paint with the water, by the time you can have time for it to dry, and it'll keep them busy for a minute too. Unearthed Trove says, many Mr. Spray bottles and a hand towel to clean the windows. Water table in the yard. I haven't did that yet, but I do want to put our water table outside in the summertime. We'll see how that goes. They love the water table. We only use it on Fridays because we're still working on keeping the water inside the table, and the kids get soaked, so we don't do the water table every day. I would just recommend that you be careful when using the water table. Either only put a little bit of water so that you don't have to worry about them drowning in the water, or make sure that you can see them at all times. If they're too quiet, it's not okay. So yeah, I would recommend the water table, but I would definitely say be safe when using the water table. Water the plants outside. Sticker stamps and sticker books, real stickers, not puffy or reusable ones. And even with stickers, again, rules, because you'll have stickers on your windows, and who wants that? You would ask the child, where should we put stickers at? In my house, they can have stickers, or in my daycare, they may have stickers, but they can only put them on papers. That's it. And if I see, I'll let them know if I send stickers anywhere else, they will go in the trash. Sorry, not sorry. Blown up balloon for Keepy Uppy is so fun. Even I still play Keepy Uppy with the balloon today. Tea set with water and a sponge on the tray. What's the sponge from? Water table is a great one. Yes, water table is awesome. No underscore alternative underscore 4118 says, second this. Spray bottles are like amazing instruments for to toddlers. I've blown up a balloon and he has loads of fun with it. And honestly, this work each time. Just put it out and they will see it. Yep. I'm for real, like, never had to tell a kid, look, there go a balloon. I feel like it's also depends on the age of the toddler. If they are 2, 3, 2.5, 3.5. No, 4.5, 4 and 5 still like balloons, love balloons and keep you uppy. But at that age, they want to start trying to learn how to blow the balloon. And again, you have to be cautious with them blowing up the balloon, because that's something that they can choke on, trying to blow it up. And sometimes you gotta be extreme. If I see a kid chewing on a balloon, it's in the trash. I'm not doing that. Because you can easily swallow it and choke. So always consider safety when doing any of these activities. It says cinnamon, but it's spelled with a one instead of the I. Underscore apples says sensory beans. It requires a lot of work, front work, but once you have the kits, it can be a godsend. We have a big low sided bin from, I think, Home Depot, and separate big Ziploc bags. I have coffee beans, bulk yarn, oats, and dyed rice. Super easy and pretty. We have a bunch of little Easter eggs and chicks, measuring cups and spoons, some empty coffee cups Starbucks gave us, and other assorted random stuff, mostly sorted into bags by type. You can tailor it to their specific interests pretty easily. Initial gathering and sorting was some work, but now I can bring it out when the day is chaos and it feels like all is lost. Dump in one of these base materials, the coffee or oats or whatever. Choose some of the accessories, scoops, farm animals, trucks, etc., and let them have at it. We do it in the kitchen and just vacuum up everything that gets spilled over. I reiterate a couple of times that what gets spilled on the floor will be vacuumed up and gone away. Yep. Once kids realize that you will throw some stuff away, like just the Play-Doh that hits the floor, or I guess I can add a few of my own ideas, and that would be cooking, making. Of course, cooking is supervised with your child. Making Play Doh and then playing with the Play Doh. Shaving cream. I like educational things, of course. So, which actually all of this is educational. But shaving cream sprayed on the table, and you can show them different letters, and they can write their letters in the shaving cream. And they just like patting it and squishing it and trying to create a ball with it. So yeah, shaving cream is definitely a big hit. Dancing and music. Danny Go is pretty hot these days in the streets with the kids. One thing that they like is the Danny Go Lights song. If you're familiar with Danny Go Lights, they have like these two sticks. You can improvise with that by cutting a noodle in two or four, and they can use the noodles to bang with and dance and play. And stories are always a hit. The earlier you start to introduce them to stories, the sooner they begin to love books. But back to cinnamon apples. My now 3-year-old is pretty good with it, and his chaos incarnate. It lets me drink a coffee and gather my thoughts, or unload the dishwasher, or make dinner, which is worth its weight in gold for sure. Brielle Wannabe says, I swear my kid is the only kid on the planet that doesn't care about sensory bins or those magnet tiles. Have you built with them? And what does your kid like? Because if your kid likes a dinosaur and you build a dinosaur with the magnet tiles, I'm pretty sure they'll like them. And did they get hurt with them? Because sometimes the magnet tiles can pinch. Does not happen often at all, but it could have happened and probably turned them off from them. But all kids that I've encountered love magnet tiles. That's interesting. Sensory bins. I don't fool with sensory bins too much just because it can be a mess. No underscore alternative underscore 4118 says, nope, they aren't. Mine isn't into painting. Literally has another preschooler do art projects for him. Magnet tiles, puzzles. As long as we're running, chasing each other at the park, doing an obstacle course, okay, so they're probably like more energetic. Dancing, pouring water into someone's juice, then transferring it into someone else's cup, or around cars, there's pretty much nothing else really worth doing for him. He has the attitude like, been there, done that. Underscore note alternative also says, one time he told me, magnet tile isn't age appropriate for me, Mama. How old is this kid? I'm like, can I just play with them then? It's definitely age appropriate with me, LOL. No, for real. And that's another thing. A lot of times kids, if they see you with it, they want it. So I would definitely probably build some pretty cool stuff with some magnet tiles and probably add some balls in there and make something out of it. Or some cars. You can make a garage with cars and stuff with the magnet tiles. There's tons of things you can do with magnet. The possibilities are endless with magnet tiles. So that's okay. But color underscore over says, what do you do with the coffee beans? Cinnamon apple underscore apples replies, Fill the sensory bin with them, then add empty paper coffee cups and lids. I asked for some empty Starbucks snack bags. I tossed in some play food, cookies, cakes, and add some measuring spoon. He'll make me lattes, and as a bonus, it makes the kitchen smell great. Pumpkin Pencil 97 says, I'm going to throw this out there that it's also very important that you let them be bored. Yeah, I get it because they become creative. I'm just thinking, like, what happens when they become bored? Idle minds is a devil playground, is what the Bible says. So I could understand letting them become bored, but definitely watch and see what they're gonna do next. Because I guess they give them a chance to become creative, but it also could give them a chance to get into some stuff they shouldn't be getting into. Don't set things up for them all the time or give them ideas of how to play, things to play with, etc. all the time. Learning how to be bored and figure out how to play with things with no input or structure is super important. Are things going to get a little crazy sometimes? Yeah. Things are also going to be used wrong and may end up with a mess to clean up. But it's very important you let them learn this as young as possible. Truly independent play cannot be learned from structured activities. You don't need to be racking your brain for ideas to keep them constantly engaged and busy. They will find joy and entertainment by themselves, and they will be better for it. Nostradamus signing off says, my son spent hours in pretend play. I find this is the only thing that can really engage him without requiring a lot of structure and support. So we've invested in toys that support his pretend play interests. Fire trucks, ambulances, 2 million Hot Wheels, Playmobil people and sets, Paw Patrol figures, toy animals, etc. Sets that go together reasonably well, not matching brands or anything, but animals that are roughly the right size compared to the human figures, etc. Sets help him create worlds. He'll act out long, elaborate storylines with his toys this way. Plain wooden blocks are also great for this, to be set pieces and structures. He loves making mud in the yard with the garden hose. And True Dash Cat 1784 laughs and gives that a heart. Cultura underscore potato says magnet tiles. So many creations you can do with them. You can find a lot of cool ideas on Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest. I've also been creating activity books for my 3.5-year-old, and she loves them. Requires some prep, but it's pretty fun to make. I get all my inspo from Instagram. Play-Doh with some of the cool accessories like scissors, shape cutters, etc., or cookie cutters. Also spoons and butter knives. They love butter knives for Play-Doh, and a rolling pin. Also, they included building a fort, search and find books. Good idea. LED drawing tables. I don't have a plastic one. The one I have is glass, so we don't use the drawing table at my school. But I just kind of make my own with rice in a huge mixing bowl and let her go to town with some measuring cups and other kitchen safe tools. And LMCK Iran says, my daughter's preschool bought mini marshmallows and toothpicks for a unit on buildings. I think my kids would spend hours building taller and taller mini marshmallow towers. That's a good idea. Again, you have to be careful though, because toothpicks are sharp. But Teacupperit says, masking tape strung between 2 areas, counters, 2 chairs, hallways, walls, whatever. And give them pom-poms. See what happens. If needed, say something like, how many can you stick? But usually they can figure it out on their own. That sounds like a good idea too. Long marker, line, and big paper, dot stickers, cover the lines and add leaves, make a design, holiday lights, and temper paint, rocks or bricks or whatever from the garden and yard, outdoor painting station, and music to relax to, for sure, relaxing music. Justania the squirrel says, like someone else mentioned, wiping the windows. Also, taking the Swiffer duster and dusting the ceiling fans and blinds is a task he loves that also keeps him entertained. A fun thing that kept him entertained for a while, I just got it a couple of days ago, is a pasta machine. I got it from my little polymer clay hobby, And he was so entertained putting the clay in, flattening it out, rolling it back up, and doing it all over again. He ended by discovering how the machine works and telling me all about it. I don't know anything about a pasta maker, so yeah. Beanie Baby says, my 3-year-old was entertained for hours yesterday washing my car. Air quotes. Literally just brought soap, a bucket, and a hose. Sound like fun. Probably dash lion dash says cutting paper, Play-Doh, bowls slash cups of water with straws, droppers, and food dye. Be careful, can be messy. Emma Lee Sings says mine likes to make mail. I save all junk mail, stickers, and random crap in the bin. She glues it all together and delivers it to various stuffed animals. Ace Lana says my ultimate low effort, low mess activity is literally just plastic container of water. I put it inside of a larger plastic container to really contain spills. A cup or two for pouring action really makes it pop. The small plastic toys go on a pool party. She can give them baths and dry them. I don't know what it is, but water is magic. For real. I'd be like, wash your hands for lunch or breakfast. So this is the faucet. They all have to do this. They all do this. And I'll just be washing them. And then they all gotta wash the dishes in the sink. And then they all have to try to use the sprayer. Yeah, water is magical. That's why the water table is a hit. I wonder if it's some deep primal instinct we have as humans to want to find water. Okay, no, for real. Because I totally believe that babies are way more connected to the earth than we are. While we don't really pay water any attention, they do love to play in the water. And the last one that I will read is from Remarkable-Win-3769, whom says, my son loves to cut coupons. Ha ha ha. It's actually such a great low effort way to get them to practice their scissor skills, which is well needed in kindergarten. And it is a skill worth practicing because it's not very easy for them. Most coupons come on easy to cut paper, and they have lines showing where to cut. Whenever I get our weekly mailers, he goes and grabs his scissors and is busy for a bit. Yep. That. And that wraps up this Reddit. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, Tia. This chapstick look red, blue, green. I'm tired. White from here, but it's cool. It is what it is.